You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, what a good Friday night for the Astros as they roll right on by the Texas Rangers. Thanks to some great pitching from Hunter Brown, thanks to some timely hitting and some big shots throughout the baseball game. And oh, what do you know? This baseball team continues to roll are your Houston Astros as they are now, a season high. You're going to be able to say this every night until they lose again. A season high, 6 games over 500. And oh, by the way, look at this club. Can you believe it, Houston, Texas? Before the All-Star break even hit, the Astros have reached, like I said, that 6 games over 500 mark. But before this All-Star break gets here, the Astros, the team that started off so poorly this season, has 50 wins in the season. Incredible. It's been an incredible turnaround. A lot of fun to watch tonight's baseball game. You always love to watch them play the Texas Rangers and beat them as well. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Astros Postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. That can make you like Arlington, which nobody likes Arlington. I don't like Arlington. Nobody likes Arlington. Good news, the Astros are playing at Minute Maid Park this weekend. You see the graphics there on the side of the show here, which, by the way, if you're new to the channel tonight, thank you for joining us. Please hit that subscribe button. Excuse me, my allergies are just absolutely killing me tonight. So I've got like this feeling of my nose is on fire, and if I sneeze, I'm sorry. And occasionally I need to sniff because I don't know. Whatever's in the air today is messing with me completely, and it's been a funky day. But when you play the Rangers, like we all like to see, it's fine. It looks like it's back to your regularly scheduled programming, right? Beating up on them in the past. I know that, of course, we all know how last season went against that baseball team in the postseason. It is what it is. Congratulations to them. They won a World Series. Astros now 5-3 on the season against the Rangers. It's good. It is good to beat up on the American League West when you have the ability to do that. And they did it on a night tonight where, again, a lot of good throughout the lineup. Of course, the biggest shot in the baseball game being Jose Altuve. Altuve, who, of course, is not going to go to Arlington next week to participate in the All-Star game. I do wonder where a lot of you guys land on that. I think it's a little bit odd for me. I understand you're resting a hand or whatever, and the hand doesn't look great still. But, I think about me as like a kid growing up. I don't necessarily think that I would be happy when my players on my team aren't going to the All-Star games. That's something I always look forward to. That's a different topic for a different day. I just want to throw it out there if you guys care how you guys feel about that. But he has a big shot there with the 3-run home run. I mean, look, it wasn't a great night for him overall, but he went out there and did that. Bregman, good to see Bregman do it again. He's continued his rise in the season. Jordan driving in a run as well. I mean, there's guys throughout the line. Jake Myers, which we'll talk about in a little bit, because I want to talk about some of the unsung heroes on this baseball team. He hits a solo home run tonight. And I say heroes, doesn't mean you have to be a superstar, but be a guy that's exceeding expectations this season. And Jake Myers qualifies as one of those guys in this baseball team this season. But the number one thing for this team most nights, like any good team, is that you are going to go as far as, your superstars, your big boys are going to take you. Simple as that. And when they needed their big boy the most, in Altuve specifically, for a guy that had an absolutely torrid start or just awesome, just ripped the cover off the baseball start to the season, to a complete and total funk in May, to figuring it back out. And I think that the biggest thing early in the season for where he was at was the fact that he was, if you go back and look at the numbers, he was terrible. with runners in scoring position earlier this year. He just absolutely was. And that has just completely flipped the script completely for Altuve this season. And you love to see that. And they need that out of him when he has those opportunities to go out there and, throw away or hit a pitch out of the ballpark. It's just really, really good. Really, really good to see him go and do that consistently in spots where the Astros need him, because we all know how important he is to this baseball team, period, end of story. And he produced tonight. Yordan Alvarez continues to produce for him, for himself as well. That was another guy that I mentioned there, driving in the first run of the baseball game. His bat's been great. He's up to 300 average now in the season, 926 OPS. He's going to be, he's not going to win the MVP, but he's going to get MVP votes like he probably will every single year. I would assume. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know who's going to win the American League MVP. Is it Aaron Judge? I would say probably gets a ton of the vote because he's having another great season. But he got like 30-something home runs already. He's going to hit close to 60 again this year. So he'll probably get a lot of that love. But one day Yordan might run into one of those. Now that Ohtani's gone too, that'll definitely help. So it's good to see Yordan do his thing as well. A lot of look. On a night where you win 6-3 and you beat up on the Rangers, which is always nice, you love to see your guys that you know are important to your getting victories consistently doing their thing in the baseball game. That's exactly what they did. We have a lot to get into on this Locked On Astros Postcast. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for visiting the channel. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for just supporting in general, whether it's on the video or listening to it on podcast later. Let's talk a little bit about Hunter Brown, the importance of what Hunter Brown has done this season for the Astros, flipping the script, figuring it out, and then, of course, bouncing back from a tough one in his last one. We'll talk about that in just a brief second here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. This episode of the Locked On Astros Postcast is, of course, brought to you by Booking.com, Booking.yeah. As I've told you guys, with summer travel heating up, especially, of course, travel for baseball games, it's time to explore those U.S. cities you've always secretly wanted to learn more about. Yes, we're talking about your rivals' cities. Look, the Astros got to go back to Arlington. You could go to Arlington. I've unfortunately spent a lot of time in my life in Arlington. I have family that lives probably 10 minutes from that ballpark there, so I've been there a few times. I've covered the Astros games there in the past in their barn that they have up there in Arlington. And you could go there. You could go to Seattle, who is, of course, a big rival of the Astros now for many years in the American League West. You could go see them play anywhere, and you can get that trip locked in with Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. So, again, book today on Booking.com on the site or in the Booking.com app. And one more reminder for me before we get back to our Astros discussion tonight. After the 6-3 win over those Texas Rangers, and that is about eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED lights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need, the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Locked on Astros Postcast. Friday night fun here on the show. Thank you for joining me, guys. I hope your Friday night is off to a great start. Right before the show, I mean, look, I was scarfing down food. Look, we can do a live display of I was scarfing down my meat and cheese plate for my lovely dinner with my wife. As soon as we get done, my glass of wine is waiting for me right here. That'll go back to the living room to go watch the bear That's the show that we're hooked on right now. So good start to the Friday night with the win over the Rangers, 6-3. Can't ask for anything better than that. 50 wins now on the season. Can they pull off another 50 in the next half of the season? No, they probably can't because they don't have half the games left. I can't say you shouldn't say they can't. They're capable, but they're not going to win 50 games. As long as they win 40 plus, they should win the American League West the rest of the way. And one of the guys that's going to help them do that, of course, is Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown has been awesome for the Astros since his just horrific start. And I feel like every time we do these shows, we get to kind of put a spotlight on him. He gets the win tonight. By the way, moves to 7-6. ERA drops back down to 4.39. I mean, only mistake he made in the game, I mean, I can't call them mistakes. Simeon obviously sees him pretty well. 3 for 3 off of Hunter Brown tonight. And then the home run to Seager down the line. It just, it happens sometimes. But 6 innings, 2 runs for Hunter Brown. Can't lie, I kind of liked it when he hit Adolis Garcia. Just to see Adolis Garcia darn near have a roid rage. He's really mad. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I get it. You get hit by like a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. You got hit in the elbow guard. But also, like, if you do your homework, which I know that they do on the pitcher, you know that Hunter Brown this year is throwing a heavy sinker. Guess what a sinker does on a right-handed hitter? It runs hard inside. Now, look, Adolis Garcia did get one thrown a little bit up and in the first at-bat of the night. So that happens. But I just thought it was a little over the top by Adolis Garcia to get so bent out of shape about taking one off the elbow there. I mean, like, seriously. He's not trying to hit you. Like, let's just be honest with it. He is not trying to hit you at all in that spot because he's trying to just continue to do what he's doing, which is putting up zeros. And Hunter Brown, he's not fighting for his life as a big. He's fighting for his long-term, probably the way that he's viewed. This is an important season for Hunter Brown. This is his second full season in the big leagues, and putting up numbers, putting up results, that matters. And he just throws so hard with that pitch that it just sometimes it's gonna go that way. He's also a guy that can walk guys at times. I mean, he had 2 walks tonight plus that hit by batter. But overall, again, I just want to highlight what he has done, which is completely, again, flipped his script of his season and maybe even his career. He has been basically an ace since. I mean, it really kicked into like hardcore gear, I would say, that May 22nd start against the Angels. From there on, he's had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 starts, and only one of them was bad. And the bad one, that last one against the Twins, where he went through the lineup and gave up like 9 hits the first 2 times through the order or something. A total of 12 and 7 runs. It all happened early. And to me, those are the kind of – and now that was on a day where the Astros had to get more out of him. They had to get innings. And he gave them that. And that's where you see a pitcher start to mature. Like, there's going to be a day occasionally where you go out there and you stink. It's just like a hitter at the plate. By the way, thank you for watching, Mark, over there in the morning in Cape Town. Very cool of you to tune in all the way from Cape Town. On my list of places to go one day. Thank you for. Do you live there, or are you just Are you just visiting? Whatever. If you live there, that's awesome that you're joining us. We really appreciate that here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. But Hunter Brown has just completely turned into a dominant pitcher. And a dominant pitcher does exactly what he did tonight. And exactly what he did even in the last game, where he goes out there and, God, sorry, the caption. You distracted me with Mr. Page with the "I also live in a town. You're stupid." Thank you. But the fact that he was able to give them innings in that game against Minnesota, eat them, take one for the team, do his thing, Simple as that. Oh, look at that. Mark is South African. 4:51 in the morning, and he's up watching on a Saturday morning. Thank you, Mark. That's early. Now I'd say that's early. That's my time to go and watch, my time to get up. I'll be up tomorrow morning by 5:30. My body does not let me sleep later than that. But I'm gonna go to sleep as soon as I finish this. Just you got your routines, right? So we appreciate you checking in with us. That's tough. That is commitment to the Astros, to be an Astros fan, to be a baseball fan overseas. I will tell you that. I've been the last couple of years. We were in Italy last year for a month. We were in London and Paris right before COVID, and they weren't playing. But when we were in Italy last year, the Astros were playing. I watched a tiny bit of a day game. That was it. I wasn't about to stay up in the middle of the night to watch that. I stayed up woke up in the middle of the night to watch the NFL draft, and the Texans picked C.J. Stroud. So yeah, thank you for watching all the way across the world. And Cole, we'll get to the Luis Garcia stuff in just a bit. But Hunter Brown has been just an absolute godsend, figuring it out the way that he has figured it out, because this team would not be where they're at if he didn't. I mean, when you line up right now, if you lined up a playoff rotation today based off the way that they've performed, now I know that this is where track record and been there, done that is probably something that gets in the way. I think they'd go Fromber. But you can make the argument that Hunter Brown should be your game one starter in the postseason. Honestly, he's no worse than 2. Verlander's, you'd only be pitching Verlander. He would have to come back and look great the rest of the season, which he's just still playing catch. I do not understand this neck thing. It's just an Astros thing. They always have guys getting hurt, whatever. It is what it is. Blanco, you're right. See, that's on me. Blanco or Brown? Probably Blanco, and then Brown. Those are the 1-2. And I'm just going off. I'm letting my manager brain get into me here. Of if I was the manager, letting former track record for players get in the way. But yeah, Blanco, Brown. I think you make an argument for both. I think you make the argument clearly for Blanco. But it's a good problem to have. Simple as that. Let's talk about some of those unsung heroes. Let's talk about the Luis Garcia news today. The Verlander stuff as well, with the injury situation going on with both. We'll talk about those here in a brief second on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Here on the Locked On Astros Postcast, we, of course, pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? It's collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for your unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A-plus rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. And be sure to mention Locked On Astros Postcast at checkout, and you'll receive a $250 discount off their services. And one more quick reminder for me before we get back into the Astros discussion and the unsung heroes of the team. You know what's an unsung hero? You drip. Now, I'm just in a t-shirt tonight, but you know what? They can also get your drip going in terms of your fit at Stitch Fix. StitchFix.com/MLB is where you're going to head here in just a minute, and I'll tell you more about that in just a couple of seconds. But it's easy to upgrade that wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find your new on-trend favorites that will work for you. You're going to give your stylist your size, your budget, your preferences, The boxes will show up there to your door, and you're going to be feeling fine and good to go here before you know it. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. Now's the best time to get started at stitchfix.com/MLB and get $100 off. That's $25 off your first 4 fixes for a limited time only. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $100 off. Stitchfix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days of sign up. Offer does not include kids fixes. Thank you for joining me on a Friday night here in the Locked On Astros Postcast. Your host here, Michael Connor. Yes, to Supreme Panda, you have missed these live streams. For those of you in the comments, if you're new to the channel tonight, hit subscribe. You'll get the notifications because I always set the videos up early in the day. I try to, so you'll get the notifications that we're going to go live. It'll always say, I always set it for like 3.5 hours after the game. We go live when the game ends. That's what we do here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. We'll do this for Rockets, Texans, Cougs, all of them, all year long. This channel is rolling. It's because of you guys. We're climbing closer towards 1,400 subscribers. I appreciate you guys hitting the button. If you're new again, please hit that button. Let's continue to grow this page. Share the videos. Do all of it. Help me help you. I would appreciate it. I really do. I mean it. I'm not just trying to say it over and over. I mean it. You guys have made this an unbelievable ride so far here on this Locked On Astros Postcast on the Locked On Sports Houston page. Real quick, I do want to give the thoughts on the Luis Garcia thing today, which Luis Garcia was scheduled to throw a bullpen yesterday. Did not throw the bullpen. Played catch. Did not throw a bullpen today. Joe Espada has said that his arm, they're not calling it a setback, but hasn't felt as good, I guess, as he would like it. Now, for the health of the Astros this year, I don't know exactly what you're going to get out of Luis Garcia this season in terms of innings that he's going to be allowed to give you. Like, you know, he's going to be on a pitch count for a good while. Whatever his role might be, I don't know. But honestly, this isn't comforting because all we've heard all season long was that, yeah, he'll be ready to go after the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, he'll be coming back. Well, the All-Star break is next week. And after the All-Star break starts next weekend. So it doesn't sound like he's going to clearly be ready. He's made, one rehab start, I believe, with the Gulf Coast League down there in Florida. I don't understand what's happening to their pitching where all these guys are just like, they're either their arms are falling off, their necks are falling off, or they're hitting a wall in their rehab. I mean, Lance McCullers can't pick up a baseball anymore. I mean, hell, for as much as we know, maybe they've amputated his arm at this point. I don't know. But you were counting on getting some of these guys back, which would alleviate some of this pressure. Because if there's one glaring hole right now in the Astros rotation, it is simply Spencer Arrighetti. He's a rookie. And I could probably say the same about Jake Bloss, of course, but I'm giving Bloss more than 2 starts before I start going there. Arrighetti's been a lot of roller coaster. You know, against some bad teams, he's been very good. He's had a couple of starts, at least one start against Seattle that was really good. But overall, he's not been unbelievable. He looks like a rookie. And you're going to have those kind of struggles when you have a rookie starter in your rotation. And it gets back to the trade deadline of if they're going for this thing like they want to because, they believe that they can win it all. And in the American League, that's still, it's not filled with a bunch of world beaters. It's a very winnable league for the Astros again this season. So each day that continues to go by and they continue to win at this kind of clip and get further and further ahead of the 500 mark, which again, now 6 games, season high, over 500. I mean, I still a little bit like shocked by it that it happened as quickly as it did. But they need to probably go out there and find another starting pitcher at some point. It just kind of feels like that. Postseason-wise, I think they have enough to get by rotation-wise, but there's nothing that's wrong with any kind of depth. Question, of course, is going to be how much is it going to cost you? So, again, I just wanted to share some quick thoughts on that situation. Did not make me feel good when I heard that or saw that today about Luis Garcia. Basically, just sounds like arm's not responding. That's not a good sign. So we'll see exactly what happens with that for the Astros moving forward. Did want to give the love real quick to the unsung heroes. And I say the unsung heroes. The unsung hero that I want to point out tonight had a big home run in the game, of course. And I mentioned him earlier. Jake Myers. Jake Myers, he's not an unbelievable player by any means, right? He had that super hot streak earlier this season where he just went off and he was OPS in like 900 on the season. That's not who he is. Jake Myers, though, is having a very solid above league average season for a player that plays an elite level of defense when it comes to covering ground and tracking balls and making spectacular catches in center field. Noodle arm for a center fielder. It's not good. Anybody in the league would run on him. If I was a third base coach and I saw Jake Myers get the baseball, I'd be running on him all day long. But he's establishing himself. Joe Espada had a lot of confidence in him coming into this season. Basically slated him as the everyday center fielder. And it's kind of like, whoa, I mean, what about Chaz and everything? I mean, Chaz has just been abysmal this year. Absolutely abysmal. I mean, talk about a lost season and really kind of putting his career in a funky spot with what's happened after a career year last year. He's just not been good this year, I think is the nicest way to put it for Chaz McCormick. And credit to Jake Myers. He has gone out there and he has absolutely taken that job and he has run with it and made it his. And there's no reason for him to not be in center field basically every night right now with the way that he's played. Is he going to hit 250 plus ever? Probably not. But if he hits 240, he's got 9 home runs on the season. He has legit power. We see it. If he hits anywhere between 10 and 20 home runs in a regular season, which I'm not saying he's going to hit 20, but what I'm saying is if he hits 17 this year, like you're going to feel like you got a steal of a year out of a guy like Jake Myers, who a lot of people, I mean, look, me included at times, absolutely wanted to, absolutely wanted to get rid of him at some point. Really, really good for Jake Myers to do what he's done this season. And, again, take advantage of the opportunity. And he, to me, is one of the unsung heroes of this baseball team this season that's helped them build consistency and get back to their winning ways. They'll do this again tomorrow, the final game. Or not the final game, excuse me. I'm already thinking it's Sunday. Tomorrow's only Saturday. I got a full weekend ahead of me. Game 2 of this 3-game series tomorrow, Spencer Arrighetti versus Nate Eovaldi. That is a 3:10 first pitch. So we'll be live for this show in the 6-ish range somewhere, of course, as soon as the game ends. If you're new to the channel tonight, a lot of you watching, I appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button. That way you can join us again tomorrow night. We'll do this again after another Astros win, and they could be 7 games over 500. And real quick, for those of you watching, I actually have not given you an update on what has gone on in the American League West tonight, because I honestly have not checked. I have just been locked in on the Astros tonight. And, of course, I swear, MLB.com and their stinking pop-ups, I just click them and they send you to Apple TV. I don't care about Apple TV. I have Apple TV. I don't need your ads for it. But the Mariners tonight are out there in Los Angeles, Anaheim, playing the Los Angeles Angels. That game, as of this moment in the recording, is tied 4-4 in the 5th inning. Go Angels, go! Brandon Drury's at the plate at this moment. Hit one over the fence and let the Astros be 1 game back in the American League West. Again, join us tomorrow after the game. Astros, Rangers, right here for the Locked On Astros Postcast. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night.